can just do it all here, and then in 2020 we got used to Zoom and other meeting apps, you know, and then we started having meetings online. Some of us even had, because of the terms of the pandemic, had to conduct all of our work online. Some of us shifted to having temples online, because before the 2020 you didn't see hardly any temples online. Church became online, everything became online. So that's the problem, is it increased our loneliness and our isolation. And it decreased the ability to surround yourself with good people. Now, some people do say, hey, well, you know, I see all the good people I need right here on my flip phone, right? Every week. I see them every Wednesday and Saturday. Yes, you do, but not really. You don't know them, because when this is done, you're not going to eat with them. You're not going to give them a hug. You're not going to, they're not going to come and feed your cat when you're on vacation. They can't do that either. And then for that, you're going to open up your flip phone, and well, this one didn't have all that stuff, but you'd open up a smartphone, right? And you would hire someone who you don't even know to come to your house and feed your cat.
On an app.
On an app. Yes. And then you decided you wanted some food. And you said, well, I don't really want to go out. I'm tired. It's late. And I don't like the guy at the store anyway. It's scary over there. That's a rough part of town where the market is. So I'm going to order my food on my phone. Yeah. And then the person brings it to your house, but you don't open the door and thank them, because they're trained to do what?
Leave it at the door.
Leave it at the door.
Don't even say hi.
Don't even say hi. You don't know if they were 7 feet tall or 3 feet tall.
Now they have drones to deliver it.
Okay, even drones. Yes, there are parts of LA where they have mobile drones that will take.
And those.
So do you see how we're slowly moving away from associating with good people? Now, part of that during COVID was, you know, don't associate with any illness. So separate yourself. Okay, but we need to take counteractive measures now. We got to flip it around 180. We have to, because now it's moving to the point where everything is no contact. Everything. And when you have no contact, it leaves you by yourself, and whatever you have, that's all you're going to have. That's just going to deepen. I hope if you are going non-contact, you and Arumila are on a first-name basis already. I hope that if you're going to go non-contact with the whole world, I hope your character is right where you want it. Because chances are that's where it's going to stay. It's really hard to develop good character in isolation. So I hope it's already there. I hope it's already there. Because if your character is bad and you're by yourself, the character's not going to get any better. So it's going to get worse. Yes, you'll begin thinking about things and obsessing and worrying. And the biggest element that will build up from any false standpoint is fear. So let's be aware of that. That when we isolate ourselves, we will build up fear. So we know bad people we don't want to be around. Omo Lasan, the worthless child, we don't want to hang around them. But self-isolation is not the solution. The solution is to associate with good people, with Omo Lawabi. Now, what kind of people are these? Well, we talk in temple, they're always, we talk about honest people, patient people. Yes, those are all true. Let's go to some of the ways those honesty and those patience manifest. Okay, here's one. How about associating with people? And I'll tell you all how to find these people in a minute, but let's talk about associating with people who know how to take care of other people. That's like a category of people. Look for people who know how to take care of and cultivate others. At big or small levels. Can be family, friends, presidents of countries, whatever, but people who care for other people. This is from Irosomeji. Please repeat Irosomeji.
Irosomeji.
The comb of the rooster.
The comb of the rooster
adds to its honor.
Adds to its honor.
This was Castifa.
This was cast
by Ajagumai.
Will be watched by
A heavenly awo.
A heavenly awo.
He was advised to offer a bow.
He was advised to offer a bow.
And he complied.
And he complied.
Okay, thank you. So this is the story of a man named Okpiliki. Okpiliki, his job was to always go out and help other people. And by help, he didn't do it in a destructive, abusive way where he was just like, here's all the last money I have nothing. You know, here's my last health, here's my time, I've got nothing, but you can have all I have. No, no, no. He kept it balanced. He gave everything he could give while still maintaining his own vitality. Okwiliki was criticized. He was criticized for always doing, people said, you're just a do-gooder. You put your nose in other people's business. Quit helping so many people. Quit helping so many. We hear a lot of parents tell the kids, don't help that person. Focus on yourself. Well, Okwiliki kept on doing that. Okwiliki went and cast Ifa, and he fasted. Of another deity called a Jagumali. A Jagumali is a deity, a heavenly owl who cares for all Ifa people doing good. So as you're out helping other people, a Jagumali is taking care of your home. And of course, the way that manifests in the society is you go help somebody else, and then they come back and help you. Right? One hand washes the other. You know, you meet somebody, you're nice to them, and a couple of weeks later, they pay back the good gesture. Well, Okwiliki continues to do that, and he continued to succeed and grow. So what Ifa says is look for benevolent people. These are people, we're moving to the domain of Omolabi. These are the type of people we want to surround ourselves with, people who are benevolent, who will sacrifice some of what they have that they need for other people. Because you know if you associate with a benevolent person, you know if they're benevolent, you know they at least know how to take care of themselves. Because they're balanced. Now, you also know that there's probably a less chance they're going to try to harm you. Because their job is to take care of people. Okay, so that's something we can learn a lot from benevolent people. And we can see most benevolent people are very wealthy. Have you ever noticed that? Those who sacrifice for others in a healthy, balanced way are very wealthy. I'm not talking financially, but they can be. They are emotionally very healthy. In fact, they are emotional millionaires. The truly benevolent people who care for others and help others in a healthy way are emotional millionaires. Now, I know you're like, well, I know people who help other people, they got nothing. They're sleeping in the car. They have no food. Okay, there may be issues if you're helping people and you don't have them to take care of yourself. Ifa never said that. Ifa says you've got to maintain your own organism and your own circle of prosperity before you can help others. But once you've built that up, go out and serve the world. All religions talk about that. Truly balanced benevolence, meaning sacrificing what you need for someone else, but keeping enough to keep yourself going. That person has the blessing of Oludumare. So we want to associate with people like that. Try to be around people like that. Try to learn from them. And you'll notice most of those benevolent people, they never lack anything. You know, you think of the people who are always willing to help and hold the door and, you know, come and deliver groceries for neighbors. Remember those kind of people who would always assist in the area? People are always watching out for those people. Yeah. And if we go up the income scale, you may be benevolent, you may be a millionaire or a billionaire, and you make sure to give away a lot of your money. Okay? And if you're a billionaire and you give away $1 million, that's nothing. A billionaire gives away $300-400 million, that's, now we're talking. And not just for tax reasons. See, some people actually earn money to give it away to improve the world. That's the benevolence I'm talking about. Okay? So associate with those type of people. Those are the kind of people you need to surround yourselves with, is benevolent people. People who are always taking care of others. If you see a person like them, cling on to them. Okay, another kind of person that I think it's good to surround yourself with, another type of person, is a person who's very transparent. We talked 2 weeks ago about transparency in temple. To be transparent like a pane of glass. Don't be opaque and cloudy. This is from the Otrupon into Wure. This is Otrupon on the right and Otura on the left. Please repeat Otrupon into Wure.
Otrupon into Wure.
Ita jare.
Ita jare.
Irele jare.
Irele jare.
This was cast Ifa for Rumila.
This was cast Ifa for Rumila.
When he was doing good in Ile Ife.
When he was doing good in Ile Ife.
And they said he was doing evil.
And they said he was doing
He
evil.
was advised to offer Ebo.
He was advised to offer a vote.
And he complied.
And he complied.
Now, Ita jare.
Ita jare.
Irele jare.
Irele jare.
May there be peace in Otu Ife.
May there be peace in Otu
May
Ife.
there be comfort in Otu Ife.
May there be comfort in Otu Ife.
May the pregnant women give birth.
May the pregnant women give birth.
And may the barren women get pregnant.
May the barren women get pregnant.
Ita Jare.
Ita Jare.
Irele Jare.
Irele Jare.
Thanks. So this is what this Ifa talks about in Otura is that at a certain time, Oromila lived in Ile-Ife. You know, Oromila lived in many, many towns. Well, when he was living in Ile-Ife, he was performing rituals to help the town. The type of rituals he was performing at this one, in this stanza, was called Oro. Oro is a deity that certain people feed at nighttime, and they do it in secrecy. So when Oro's being fed, everybody has to go inside and let the oral specialists do what they got to do. Nobody else needs to peep or be there or take pictures or record it on your cell phone or anything. You don't need to do any of that. Just let them do their work. Because those who need to see it, they're already out there doing it. The rest of us can just stay and benefit. Oromila was doing these type of work for Oro. He was trying to cure infertility. He was trying to cure, some women couldn't get pregnant. There was negative spirits all through Otu-Ife, through Ife. Now, the only problem is he's working his tail off, staying up all night because Oro's rituals are done in the evening time, right? They're done in the evening time. You'll never see Oro in the day. As he's doing this, he's got the door shut, and he's saying stuff, and people can hear him whisperings and murmurings in there, and they said, that guy's in there doing witchcraft against us. That's why we have all these problems. Because he goes and shuts the door every night. So they began to conspire and construe that he was doing evil. And the talk in the town, the word on the street began to be that Oromila was a bad guy. He was an omolasan, a worthless person, coming to harm our community. Well, Oromila began to hear this. He cast the Ifa, Otura came out. And Awo said, you are doing good, okay? But you need to be more transparent. And you need to raise your voice. When you're helping people, let them know. Not like, I'm helping you, you need to respect me. But just, he's not saying that, but he said, please make sure that people can know at least what you're doing. Be transparent. Don't be sneaky. Because right now, Oromila, you look sneaky. And you're trying to help, but you're getting blamed for hurting. You've got to be more transparent. Oromila went back to his house. He continued the rituals which needed to happen, but now instead of murmuring and whispering, he just spoke loudly. And the people heard it. Everybody was inside their house, but they heard it. They said, oh, is he praying for us right now? You see, Oromila solved the problem that way. So Ifa says, surround yourself with transparent people. Now, the other beautiful thing about that passage was Oromila did not get offended when he was being blamed for being an evildoer. So that goes back to the topic of oversensitivity. Has anybody here ever been like blamed for something? You immediately overreact. You just you start, guns blazing. You pull out your emotional pistol and just start shooting. They thought I might be dishonest. Ifa says, don't overreact to anything. Oromila could have said in the stanza, you all think I'm doing evil? Well, how dare you? And challenge his confront, it's no need. Please associate with people who don't overreact to things. Because that overreaction, or we call it reactivity, that's the source of so much heartbreak. That one thing you said, that one act you did that got you fired, that one payback, an eye for an eye. Well, if you do this to me, I'll do it to you. Process control our reactivity. Let us surround ourselves with people who have self-control. It's very essential. Now, self-control doesn't mean you just bury it inside and you never deal with it. Self-control means you know when to bring it up and how to bring it up. How many people here have been accused of something you did not do? Raise your hand if you have. We all have been accused. But how you choose to react is up to you. And being accused does not give you the right to accuse other people. If I'm accused, I do not have the right to accuse others. I cannot do to you what you did to me to pay you back and teach you a lesson. It doesn't work that way. That's not the Ifa way. That's moving back towards Omolasa. And we want to move away from worthless children to children of the Lord of good character. Okay? So Ifa is so interesting in this way. Now, let's talk about some of the kind of like practical tips like you. So, well, Baba, thank you. You've now illustrated who we don't need to hang out with and who we kind of should be moving forward. Well, how do we do this now? It's easier said than done. Because again, people say, you know what, I'm going to go home after temple, get back on my flip phone.
And connect.
And connect. I got to connect. Yeah. Okay.
What you look
That's right. You become. So Ifa says one of the best ways is don't use the device and don't even call anybody or go look for good people. Start with a self-evaluation. A self-eval. You know, like in fact, in a lot of jobs, they have employees are evaluating themselves. Your employer wants to see how honestly do you view yourself. It's okay. Well, a self-evaluation goes as follows. Who are the important people in my life? And I'm going to list them. Now, we're not talking family, because families, they're bonded to you by genetics. They're there. Let's talk more about friends and other associates, not family right now. Who do I associate with? I'm going to list them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does this person help me advance my destiny in some way? Yes or no? And I'm going to go through, I'm going to evaluate, and I'm going to look at that whole list. And then I'm going to take a sober reflection and say, well, wow, of all those people, she does, he definitely doesn't. He does, she doesn't. I'm going to decide how much people assist me. Now, that doesn't mean I won't ever talk to them again if they don't assist my destiny. But I'm going to put my emphasis with those who assist me to get where I'm going. And if I don't know where I'm going, I'm going to simply follow the basic Ifa concept of Omoloabi. But some of us are even have been reaching Ifa, and we've been told where to go. You've been told. So none of those of us who've been initiated, we have no excuse. We know what we need to be doing. But for those who don't know, follow the basic principles. And ask, does this person help me follow those basic principles? Or are they pulling me back over to Omolasan, the worthless child? Okay. So that's the first step, is you've got to evaluate the folks around you and literally write out a list. Okay? But then number two is also very interesting. Then you need to decide, what kind of people do I want to associate with? What kind of people, what kind of type of professional people, what type of emotional people, what type of spiritual warriors, financial warriors, artists, creative types, whatever. Who do I want to be with? Do I want to be with the people who dream big? You've got to decide who you want to associate with, and you may need some help. You see, all these people will help lift us up. And some of us need someone who basically has studied a little more. Some of us need someone who's a little more emotionally honest. Each of us has different people we need to get us where we're going. Remember, at the beginning of the sermon, we talked about those who God had given you to get you along your path. Some of us will need people who are bold. Some of us need people who show a little more humility. And then after we've decided the kind of people we want, we may need to reach out to those people. And it won't be like this. This can be the starting. This is the start right here. Hi, can you please? No. But eventually, please try to meet them face to face. It shows that they matter and that you matter. These might be relatives. What if you have an uncle who's been happily married for 35 years and you now want to get happily married? And you've always kind of admired your uncle. And you say, Uncle, I'd like to sit down and, have a cup of coffee with you. I want to talk to you to see just how you and Auntie, how you guys have done this for 35 years. You see, you can learn a lot. It might be an internship. It might be what we call mentorship. You will find the people who you need, and you will make face-to-face preferably. Of course, distance, you got to be online, but if it's possible, meet them. If you're going to go play tennis or golf with them, if it's a person at a market who you enjoy, you'll find ways to talk to them so you can exchange. And you'll let them know, hey, I'm dealing with you right now because I like something about you. I like how you run your business, and I want to run my business like you. What's your secret? Now remember, you're taking their time. And a worthless person, a time waster, will ask 35, 40 questions while they're at the market working. To be a valuable person, you'll say, like, I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee. I'd love to, whatever it is you do. You play tennis? Whatever, whatever it is, you will find a way to meet that person and talk to them. Because your overall goal is, again, advancing your own destiny. It's not a selfish thing. It's that God gave me this assignment, and you, I think, are part of my assignment. They don't need to know that, but that's what you're thinking. You might find a certain professor you like. It might be a relative. It might be somebody who is only available like at like the highest level. So maybe your job will be to go to the classes they teach. And you're going to be sitting in the audience of 1,000 people. You're still interacting with that person. You see, that's who we want to associate with. So we've got to self-evaluate, decide who the kind of people we want to be with, and then reach out to them. Okay, but if you don't ever form a personal relationship with them, or as close to personal as possible, you stay kind of isolated, like admiring them from afar. So for me personally, it was my Baba Hifai. You know, like I went and visited him in 2003 in West Africa, and I'm like, I like how he runs his house. I like how he, because I was not initiated with Chief Popola. Some people think I was, but I wasn't. I was initiated in another place. It was a wonderful Lulu also, who's now passed on. But when I met Chief Popola, I said, I want to be around this person more. I want to see how he lives. So I started over the years taking trips back to his house. In the days before we had flip phones. In the days when you literally had to send money through Western Union only, and literally write letters, and people would carry that letter to Nigeria. You see, you want to establish a relationship with the person who you want. So the biggest problem a lot of us have is we don't know who we want to be around. Because we've gotten so used to being alone and just reading about things. Again, this epidemic of loneliness is big. It's serious because it makes us think that everything can be solved through this, and it really can't be. It cannot be. We need to go and meet people where they are. In fact, that's the way human society was for the first couple of million years. You'd go and see people. If you're out in the savannah, and this guy killed 3 leopards in his whole lifetime, you're like, you are a walking legend. You killed 3 leopards. I want to learn how you killed 3 leopards. And then you will intern with that person for 20 or 30 years to learn how to kill 3 leopards. I'm being facetious, but what I'm saying is you will associate with the people who have the good qualities that you want. So just to close, how many of us know who we want to associate with? And then of that, how many of us have actually began that personal relationship with that person? Most people will actually be humbled. Because these are people of good character we're talking about. They'll be humbled to see that you want to approach them. And you're not just taking and taking and taking their time. Because when you get that gift from them, your job will be now to spread it to other people. You see, that's how this all works. Okay. Ifa says, lastly, please associate with people who have big plans. Don't hang around small-minded people. Surround yourself with people who have big plans. Now, a big plan doesn't have to be, I want to be the emperor of the universe, and I am 55 years old, but I will be on a World Cup team next year. Okay? They have to be realistic big plans, y'all. Realistic big plans. Okay? People who want good things for the world, good things for life. For example, a big plan is I want to see all my children grow up to be healthy and survive into adulthood and start their own families. That's a heavy lift in this day and age. That's a big lift because there's a lot of forces out there. Here's another one. I want to make sure I start a business and I control that business. And that I make sure that I take care of all my employees very well and that they have nothing to worry about when they go home at night because of the place they work at. That is a major accomplishment. Okay, so you see, these are big plans. Other big plans, yeah, I want to run a company. I want to be governor, whatever. Okay, whatever your big plan is, do you have a big plan? And if you don't have a big plan, what's your big plan? Okay, and it could be within inside your house or for the whole nation. Ifa talked about this in Oshemeji. Please repeat, Oshemeji.
Oshemeji.
Idandan.
Idandan.
Acts like the lamp of the Mother Earth.
Acts like the lamp of the Mother Earth.
This was Castifa.
This was Castifa.
For the people of Iloinla.
For the people of Iloinla.
The big city.
The big city.
Yes. They were advised to offer a bow.
They were advised to offer a bow.
And they complied.
And they complied.
Yeah. So this is the story of people who they started a place called Big City. Ilu means city, Nla means big. This was Castifa
This was Cassifa
for the people of Iloinla,
for the people of Iloinla,
the big city.
the big city.
Yes. They were advised to offer a bow,
They were advised to offer a bow,
and they complied.
they were advised to offer a bow,
And they complied.
and they complied.
Yeah. So this is the story of people who they started a place called Big City. Ilu means city, Unla means big. For the people of Iloinla,
For the people of Iloinla,
the big city.
the big city.
Yes. They were advised to offer a bow,
They were advised to offer a bow,
and they complied.
and they complied.
Yeah. So this is the story of people who they started a place called Big City. Ilu means city, Unla means big.
The Mother Earth.
This was Castifa
This was Cassifa
for the people of Iloinla,
for the people of Iloinla,
the big city.
the big city.
Yes. They were advised to offer a bow,
They were advised to offer a bow,
and they complied.
and they complied.
Yeah. So this is the story of people who they started a place called Big City. Ilu means city, Unla means big.
The Mother Earth.
This was Castifa
This was Cassifa